Sean, we hear this one all the time. We hear it a lot in comments on our videos, and it's always comments made about what the head does in the golf swing. There are so many misconceptions, so many damaging to the swing ideas of what the head should be doing, that golfers really are doing themselves a disservice with some of these ideas.
Absolutely, and the number one worst one is trying to keep your head down and freeze your head in some way. And I see it every single day. People think it's some kind of catch-all to fix everything. Hey man, you just got to keep your head down. Or you looked up.
Your buddy says you
looked up. It's like, first of all, most of the time it's got zero to do with it, because we've seen golfers through the years, Annika Sorenstam, David Duval, two of the best ever. I don't think they were looking at the ball, first of all.
Well, they weren't.
They definitely weren't keeping their head down. So we know right there, they got to kind of throw that one out. Now, in this video, we're going to look at some different ways that we see golfers getting this wrong and how you can incorporate some better head movements in the swing, because it's an integral part of how kind of everything works together.
And keeping it down isn't the only bad head advice.
No, there's a couple more.
Right, there's a couple more that we're going to cover in this video. So if you're not moving as well as you want to be, if you're not moving as fast as you want to be, you're definitely going to want to watch this video, because we could unlock some of those movements for you by just how you're controlling your head.
Don't keep your head down.
You topped your last ball.
What is going on?
I want you to keep your head down on this shot.
All right, so you mean like keep it down?
I just want you to keep your eye on the ball, keep your head down.
Okay. How's that?
Well, we see that one all the time with golfers, right?
All the time, yeah.
And that was certainly an exaggeration, but the result is going to be the same. You're going to really limit. You were not really rotated. You had no speed on that ball, but you did keep your head down.
Yeah, and I think trying to keep your head down, other golfers are trying to help you, right?
Right.
They see that you top it a few times, or you maybe fatted it, and like, hey man, you're looking up, or you're not keeping your head down. The problem with that is, as you come through the shot, if you freeze your head in place and keep it down, and I obviously exaggerate there for effect so you can see what I was doing, but as I keep it down, the arms pass me, and I start to make this chicken wing, and my torso stops, right? From there, I'm in this position where my body can't turn through the ball, and I'm going to hit it worse, right?
Right.
It's going to cause more problems.
There are certainly golfers, you think of Roy McIlroy, who's actually doing this, and those things are physically very difficult to do. If you have any back pain or any back trouble like we both have, then that kind of goes up the spine to some degree, and it makes neck mobility very difficult, especially when you're trying to move fast.
Yeah, and Mike makes a great point. It's okay to watch the ball. Like
Right.
Rory's watching the ball. He might even keep it down for a few seconds longer. I do it in my own swing, but as I'm moving through, I'm letting if you watch just the head, and obviously what's really causing these movements a lot of times is the good trunk movement.
Yes.
But as I move through the shot, if you took a line on my head, good players don't stay down. They might be looking at the ground, but their head trajectory is
releasing.
up. It's up and
it's
forward.
a release.
So it's one thing to be looking at the ball or at the ground a little bit. It's another thing for having your head. What I see a lot of times as the club moves through, the head even gets lower.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to get rid of.
Right. Golfers who do that a lot of times are literally picking the head up. The head's not, it's not floating in the golf swing. You don't want to just be popping it up. But the result of that, or the fix for that, is not to bury the head down into your chest in the golf swing.
Yeah, you want some dynamic movement, looking movement with the head, right? And like I said before, that good movement comes from good torso movements, right? I'm turning around the shirt tag like we always talk about. The shirt tag kind of stays in place on the backswing, shifts a little forward, and then the shirt tag would actually come back around again. As I do that, this head has its little swing of its own, and that's what creates this dynamic athletic movement.
Right, and we do drills all the time with golfers. You sit up to it, Sean, and we'll put kind of our hand on this side, or maybe on this side, or maybe up top to kind of rein in some of these movements when they get out of control. But we're never really kind of just anchoring the head down, because you're going to see the dynamic movement suffer when you do that.
Exactly, and you see guys even trying not to have it turn to the right a little. Yeah. A lot of good golfers let their head rotate to the right a little. So
the body's rotating that way, it helps.
Yeah, and this video title is Keep Your Head Down, but we're trying to cover all the things we see golfers trying to do that causes problems. If you try to keep your chin dead pointed at the ball, a lot of you don't have the range of movement. It's okay to let your head rotate so you're looking at the ball out of your left eye a little bit more. Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, a lot of them have this little trigger move, right? Yeah. Allows them to turn a little bit better and into the backswing. Head rotates back toward the ball, rotates through the ball. They might be still looking at the ball out of their eyes, but their eyes have moved in the socket to see the ball, but their head can be releasing and rotating toward the target.
One of the other ones that we see all the time is a fear for letting the head move at all forward of where it starts.
Yep, they're worried about they're going to get ahead of it.
And the problem with that is, let me find us a golf ball. The problem with that is most golfers play the ball too far back for a whole host of reasons, play it too far back, and they're going to set up with their head too far tilted.
Yeah,
so they're
get
tilting their
behind the
spine too
ball.
much to get behind the ball. It's set up a back ball position.
Yeah. So when they come down, if they do move it all forward, they're kind of in trouble because they have to cast the club to hit the ball. So a better thing to do would be put the ball in a good spot, forward in the stance, left to center, so you can allow some of this good dynamic movement with the body. And yes, corresponding to that, you're going to see the head move a little bit, right? So that you can go get it, and that allows your body to start rotating better, and the weight shift or pressure shift that's going to happen is a lot easier when you're not trying to keep your head behind the ball the whole time.
So if we boil it down to what good players do in their golf swing, they laterally move off the ball, they laterally move more forward, and the head to some degree is going to go with it.
Yeah.
Right? If you minimize that or really restrict that by where you're, we got to hit the ball, but if you put it back here, you're going to really severely minimize what you can do that good golf swings have. And then you're going to start to early tilt, you're going to start to have to flip it, you're going to get all those things that you don't want, and you're going to try to fix them and not realize the relationship here of how the head and the ball need to interact with one another.
Yeah, I think it was Jim McClain, a great teacher. I think he said the head has his little swing of its own.
It surely does.
And
Absolutely.
just that concept of having some freedom there can really unlock your swing a little bit, so you're not always having to feel this handcuff position down here through the ball. And if you see on video your head dropping down through the ball, that's really one of the kisses of death, because you are locking your trunk in place, and the momentum of those arms, something has to give. The body kind of collapses, and you see the knees go.
Right.
So again, you can go watch some of our other videos for this kind of stuff, but if your low point of the club is in the wrong place, and let's say you top a few shots because you're on this back foot and pulling in, the fix is not to keep your head down or through the shot. You got to figure out why your low point's not in the right place and go to work on that. Then you don't even have to be looking at the ball. You can be moving dynamically forward and up and still make solid contact.
That's exactly right. The ball's not going to move typically.
Yeah.
So, it's not a baseball coming at you. So you don't have to really focus on it. But we see that undone again by where that ball is relative to your stance. You don't want to be penalized for doing the good movements. Right? We hear golfers say all the time, when I put my ball forward, I can't hit it. Well, it's because you've trained these back, you're back used to hitting it back here by your back foot. Now it's up by your front foot. And you're not going to get there with the same movements.
Especially if you've been guilty of this idea of keep your head behind the ball the whole time. Right. Because it does move forward some, and then it may kick back a little more with the driver. But just to freeze it at impact position,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work the way you want it to.
You're going to be far less than optimal doing it that way.
Exactly right. So we'll come back here in a minute with a drill that you can work on to help get you some of this dynamic head movement without freezing up and locking down by impact.
That's right. All right, Sean, so we're going to use our cameras here as a mirror, and we're going to have you just position yourself. I know when you were growing up learning the game, there was tape all over your mirrors.
Yeah.
Same here. So we're going to put, exactly right. We're going to put just a vertical stripe down the mirror, and we'll do it on the screen here just so you can see it.
Okay.
And we're going to put that stripe right down the middle of the body.
Okay, so through my head.
Okay, then we want the ball just in front of that. All right, now let's see the proper head movements relative to that reference line.
So as I start moving back, you might see just a tiny little movement away from the target, right, in this part of the swing. And as I get to the top of the swing, you may see the head rotate a little bit as it accompanies this kind of torso rotation. And the way the head movement's happening here in reality is because my torso is moving correctly. If I make a poor rotation move or stay in forward bend too long, right, my head's going to move. And if I don't extend enough or don't left tilt at the right time, it's going to move. So you got to think about what the body's doing too.
That's a great point, is that so many poor head movements are from poor body movements.
Yeah, and the head's what everybody sees, right?
Right,
It's
exactly.
Like, we got to dive deeper a little bit sometimes, and this drill will help you do that. So start feeling that it's right a little, this shoulder goes back around, and the shirt tag on your shirt should feel like it gets a little closer to the target. That'll keep you fairly centered. Now, if you see your head going up at this point, you just got to make sure you keep your left shoulder down a little, right? So it should stay pretty level. Now, as I rotate back toward the ball and have some lateral move, you're going to see my head shift a little in front of where it started. right? So down to here, my chest is going to point down toward the ground again. My head will start kind of centering at the ball. And then as I go into the finish, as I push up with my left side, my head's going to start to rotate. My eyes can still see the ball because they move in the socket a little, but my head's going to move forward and up through the shot. You don't need to hit a ball, obviously, but I just want to make that point that through the ball, my head definitely moves forward and up, and I say that all the time in lessons. He's like, someone will say, well, I need to keep my head down, right? I'll go, well, watch my head. What does it do? Like, wow, it goes up, right?
So that's exactly how you want to do it. Now, let me be the vice on your head and see if you can produce those same movements.
Okay, don't let me turn or anything.
Right.
So I'll do
I'm
it
going
like
to hold
this.
Sean's head in place, which we see a lot of golfers trying to do. And you tell us what you feel relative to what you just did with the body.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I can't go at all to the right. I'll make any pressure move to the right. I'm going to kind of reverse a tilt a little bit too much, right? And then I can't move forward, so I feel like my hips slide, my head's stuck in place. Then in the finish, I'm really limited. I almost like have a chicken wing right here.
And that was even difficult to do with keeping your head there in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, because I could feel the base of your neck kind of moving around. It's like the body does not want to be anchored. It's not like an apple on a stick.
No, it completely locked me up. And that's, I think, where some of these guys get into like having chicken wings, right? Their torso stops because if my head's not allowed to rotate, that severely affects how much my torso can rotate.
Yeah,
it's an anchor. You always talk about anchors.
That's exactly right. One thing that's always going to happen once you start moving this club, it's not stopping.
No.
And if the body doesn't move with it or doesn't move in front of it in many cases,
breakdowns.
You're going to get the breakdowns. And you're going to lead to injury. You're going to lead to certainly poor shots, but you're not going to be happy with the outcome. And a lot of it has to do with this idea, freezing this big melon that we have and not letting it help us.
Yeah, and if you're a guy that has all this crazy movement, I might put my hand on your head and have you make some swings to get a feel. Right now, once I take it off, hopefully you end up with a little bit of dynamic movement in the head so that you can make all these correct body movements and pressure shifts and then get into this finish that everybody likes to see.
Exactly right. That's why we like this line on a mirror so well, because it kind of lets you see that range of movement as you're moving the body well.
Now, even better, get yourself a live view camera and we'll put a link in one of the comments here.
Absolutely. Anything that you can use. This is great indoor mirror, obviously, but you're not going to take a mirror to the golf course. So a live view camera
is really good training.
It's going to allow you to be in your golf posture with the proper eye line and neck tilts, but still kind of see. You can put a phone right down there in front of the golf ball, and you can see how you're moving while you're in posture, because that's an issue. Okay, I'm here, then check posture, and see golfers.
No, for sure.
Check posture.
It's
not the same thing.
Only weakness with the mirror is that it's usually not angled the right way when you golf posture. So live view camera sits on the ground.
And it's great for down the line.
Yeah, you can watch yourself the whole time, and you guys are really going to love it. And I have every one of my students get one.
Yep, awesome. So give that a try. Let us know down in the comments below if some of these concepts maybe go counter to what you've been trying to do with your head movements. Give us a try and see if they don't start to improve some of the body movements that you have in your swing.
If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you have a question about the video or there's a topic you want us to cover in a future video, leave it down in the comments below. We read every single comment and we respond to them, and that's how we create new content for you in the future. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you know exactly when one of our new videos comes out. If you want more compression on your iron shots, more tour quality, solid iron shots every time you go out to play, we created a free video just for you. In the pinned comment below, you're gonna find a link. Click on the link, gonna be taken to another page. You're gonna enter your name and your email address. Once you do that, you're gonna be taken instantly to the free video training where you're gonna learn our #1 go-to drill to get more compression on your iron shots, which is gonna allow you to hit more greens and have more fun playing the game.